My name is David. I have 12 years experience working as a consultant in the energy sector in Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. I'm in charge of my company's activities with power players and utilities, and my company is ENEA. I think overall there are two broad types of effects, and both of them are already happening. It's not; these are not things that will happen in the future. We are already seeing the effects happening today. The first category, I would say, is about the way we produce and consume energy that will actually dramatically change across the next couple of years and decades. We will first need to consume less energy. Second, we will need to consume differently, meaning that we will need to consume more electricity, less petrol, less gas. That's a topical question today, I guess. And the last thing is that we will need to consume or to produce cleaner energy. That means PV, that means wind energy, but that could also mean nuclear power. In short, everything that has a low CO2 content. That's, I would say, the first broad type of effect that will see the power system evolve dramatically over the next couple of years and decades. The second broad type of effect goes beyond mitigating climate change. It's about adapting the infrastructure to a changing climate. As we have seen over the last couple of years, I guess that the extreme weather events are becoming, one, more frequent, and second, they are becoming worse. That's what we can see today with the floods happening in Australia, the wildfires happening in California, storms happening pretty much everywhere. All floods also that had happened last year or last summer in Europe. So what that means is that overall, the power system will also need to become more resilient to account for those impacts. For utilities, that means that they will need to adapt and to facilitate that change in multiple ways. That means that they will need to be prepared and facilitate new usages of energy. That means energy or electricity used in transport, in electric vehicles, and that sort of things. That means electrifying heat in a number of countries, for instance, the UK or the Netherlands. That means also taking advantage of flexibility resources, because generation or renewable generation happens during the day for PV, or can dramatically change over seasons or days for wind as well. So that means that the balance between consumption and demand will change, and that will require utilities to make up or to accommodate for that new balance of the system. All in all, what that means is that they will need to invest to modernize the infrastructure, to facilitate and take advantage of different resources and usages. And they will need also to upskill their teams, because what they will need in terms of skills and competencies will need to change in the future, especially to account for more decentralized and more digitalized energy system. And that means moving away from, traditional electrical engineering type of things to more data-driven type of approaches. There are a lot of geographical disparities just because of the fact that the climate and consumption patterns are definitely very different from one country to another. Also because the impact in terms of changing climate will be different across different continents or regions. I mentioned earlier Australia, that can see wildfires, that can see floods. I think the last years have definitely demonstrated that. Compared to Northern Europe, that would be more exposed to storms, floods as well, but less to wildfires, as you can guess. So there will be a lot of geographical disparities. That being said, and every region and every country in the world will be affected in a way or in another, and we need to account for that in the way they plan their power system effectively in the near future. In my professional experience, I spent 5 years in Australia, working with power utilities there, and I experienced personally the extreme bushfires that happened in the summer 2019-2020. That saw a large portion of Australian forest in the southeastern part of the country burning. What was interesting is not only the tremendous amount of efforts provided by the utilities in order to restore power supply in affected areas. That was also the fact that they needed to operate their infrastructure differently during those events, because obviously power lines could also be a cause of bushfires, starting bushfires when they break and touch the ground. Meaning that basically during those events, the supply is voluntarily affected by power utilities. In the aftermath of those events, were also considered solutions of standalone power systems in order to avoid long lines running through dry and bushfire-prone areas. And I think that's something that also demonstrates how power utilities can adapt in terms of climate change adaptation to that changing climate.